Good morning and welcome to the National Newspaper Publishers Association's Let It Be Known. It is Friday, the end of the week, October 14th, 2022. Yep, the month is almost half gone. We got Dawn this morning, we got Totally Randy, and we got the man himself, Anthony, to talk about Twitter. Twitter Talk is what we call it. It's Twitter Talk Friday. And look, Dawn, I know you might skip out on it, so I want to let you start us off. I got a couple of things in my head, but I said let me let Dawn before she runs away with that hoodie.
Well, I mean, I'm always gonna talk about this consistently. Good morning, everybody. We still talking about Brett Favre in Mississippi. I know some more recent news has come up, and I know
Yeah,
that
he's somebody innocent.
yeah, and more every day, Black Twitter has been on him about his role that he's played in this welfare scandal in the state of Mississippi, as well as we just saw that Phil Bryant was ordered to pay back. Phil Bryant is the former governor of Mississippi, I should state. It was ordered to pay back over $22,000 regarding to this scandal. And at this point, it's one of those things where the biggest question that I've seen amongst, some of my timeline is if he has to pay back the money, why isn't he having to do jail time?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, is it a crime or is it not a crime? Or is it, oh, he can hold the money and then pay it back? You know what I'm saying? Like
You
it's,
know how you know it's a crime for certain people and a crime for so Dawn, all you have to do is have Anthony participate in the welfare scandal and guarantee
you
you
know what? I'm not doing this with you this morning.
it's the
No.
truth, right? I'm not lying, right? Totally, Randy. I mean, let
Hmm.
me and Anthony do something like that.
Oh yeah. And then it's done. But the other right, but the other thing I'd say from Twitter Talk that I would talk about is just this consistent narrative that we're seeing with the media around not even just necessarily just the state of Georgia or Atlanta, but national news where they're stating how there's this major disconnect between Stacey Abrams and Black men, and her team has been doing a really good job in letting people know, like, no, she's done forums, she's done sit downs, she's been very private in some of those conversations that she's had because of the way that Stacey Abrams moves. She doesn't always have to put things out there.
Let
But
me ask you, Dawn,
go
what
ahead.
and it's probably more for Anthony too. Are we that petty? Are black men that petty?
So that's a whole show in itself, the black man vote, But the biggest thing is that what we're seeing in the state of Georgia is that the Republicans were already a few steps ahead of the Democratic Party for the midterms in trying to secure that black man vote. And it's disheartening because one of the things is that you see is that some people that you may look up to or that you would say, oh, they may have a voice in our community, you just realize how disconnected they are with our community and how they're trying to support Brian Kemp. They're trying to say that he has a plan. And Brian Kemp doesn't have a plan for us. Brian Kemp continues to show that he wants to, suppress our votes, suppress our voices, not really pay attention to what's happening right now. Yeah, he'll go to CAU and sit down with the Black radio and have conversations with them and talk a good talk. But are we going to see him if he just so quote unquote happens to get reelected? Like, we won't see him beyond that. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So it's like at this
they,
point you've got to know he's playing.
they say that his lead is starting to expand on Stacey Abrams there in that rematch there. But let's go out to Texas. What's happening in the Twitter world, the Twitterverse, and from the Texas point of view? Totally, Randy. What's up?
Oh my goodness, Texas have a lot of things going on, but you know what's so funny? I love that Texas like to focus on other people. So Texas is focusing on low vibrational plates right now. Stormy got red though. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Funky Deniva. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he read Stormy about her like vibrational plate. And we know that the Thanksgiving holiday is coming up. So how low does your plate get? how low does it vibrate?
Oh,
So
Listen.
we're basically, we're still kind of talking about that, kind of thankful that we don't have to. Everything is big in Texas. Everything is bigger in Texas. So
well, the Astros are winning.
What'd you say?
The Astros are winning.
Astros are definitely winning. That's why what's understood doesn't need to be said, because we're not supposed to. Go Stros. Astros are winning, and again, we're looking forward to all of the barbecue, all of the turkey, macaroni and cheese touching, yams and greens. We're Southern
It's
down
too early
here.
to be talking about that type of food. I'm hungry.
Belle. So yeah, that's been up and down my timeline. How low can your vibrational plate get?
But I mean, he read her well within her rights, because you think about that. The way she talked to that woman, I want more Black women who support these women empowerment brunches and seminars and things of that nature, to realize the type of women who are putting these events on.
Right.
These women know how to play up on their insecurities. They know how to play up on,
Absolutely.
their lack of community. They know how to play up on, we over here getting it. You should be over here with us. I don't want nobody licking their fingers and putting their hands in my plate. I don't even let my kids do that.
Right.
So Funky Dineva was within his rights to tell her, ma'am, this was your event. You paid for this caterer. You paid for the type of food that these women were putting on their plate. And then you decided to berate this woman and what she was eating. Like, come on, sis. Don't do
You know
that.
what? I love that he didn't. He actually even went down to the plate, because she said
the
that she
Disney
was
plate,
like,
girl.
which one would be royalty? He said, y'all are both eating off of white paper plates.
Yes. Read her. And I was like, no, that was low vibrational on her point. And I'm not,
Right.
and then the biggest thing is like, now everything's low vibrational on the Twitter timeline. It's just ridiculous at this point, because everything's a joke for us.
It is. And as you can see, Texas is definitely worried about how their plates are going to look come next month. Because we are kind of really, we're really in the low, we're low vibrational when it comes to everything else, especially when it comes to government. Let me just say that in our state.
Well, you know what? Yeah, first of all, this is Twitter Talk. It's Let It Be Known's Twitter Talk. And we got Anthony, Dawn, and Totally Randy. And Anthony, here's something that you and I might get some hate on from the women, but it's not our fault. It's all 50 Cent fault. What in the world, Anthony? What's going on there? I mean, he's not even a boy. He's 25 years old. Folks are, so on one side, folks are like, this dude is 25 and he talking about child support, not getting child support, or getting only, as he put, only $6,700 a month. And then on the other hand, it seems like those who are on his side are saying, look, all he's saying is that he will give up that $6,700 just for some time with his dad. What's up with 50 Cent, Anthony? You're on mute, Anthony. Anthony ate a Pop-Tart this morning. Y'all talking about food. He ate a Pop-Tart.
50 Cent been petty his whole life. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's first go there. And I don't care if your son is successful or not. Spend time with that boy. I mean, all he really wanted was, his whole life really was, to just spend some time with his successful father, outside of money. I mean, it's cool to have money, and but time is important. One thing you cannot get back is your time. And I think 50 Cent is just keeping his whole persona going.
He did a whole video.
Petty father and petty person. I think his whole pettiness as a person has took over his pettiness as a father. And I think we need to do better as fathers and spend time with our children, regardless of the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care.
He did a whole video, Anthony. And 50 Cent did a whole video trolling his own son.
Yep.
And he probably spent $10,000 to do the video.
Yeah, and that's what he
Right,
want to do his whole life. I mean, that's his personification. It's like I'm going to make fun of anything that affects me and my money. And you see, he put the hell baby about me, baby, be a millionaire. Hey, that was the 50 Cent that should have been a millionaire and took care of his son. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying is, you know, look, his son doesn't even really need his money right now. He's in a good position in life, but if he's willing to give up his money to spend time with his father, then 50 Cent should at least take that boy fishing or something. You know what I'm saying?
Not fishing. I don't even think 50 Cent knows how to fish.
Well, he's a Texas transplant, so he might, you know, fishing might be the move. I'm not gonna lie to you, it broke my heart because we often do not, and I like, Anthony, that you said spend time with your children, because sometimes when it comes to fathers, we leave daughters out of that, and we talk about fathers and sons. It broke my heart for him to ask me. You guys remember Love and Basketball?
Oh,
when
yeah.
the mom he was like, I make enough money to keep you in Gucci and gold, and she threw that bracelet and said, "How about now? Can I have an hour?"
Right.
That's how I felt when his son said, you know, he would pay him 67. That broke my heart because that boy has daddy issues, and 50 Cent have at least one other child. So, and he makes a distinction between those two. He always have.
I think
but also look at the mothers. Like you have a dark-skinned mother here, and then you have like I don't know what race that child's mother is, and I'm not even gonna try to guess it, but it's almost like it's more socially accepted for him in where he is in life. But and also look at the young woman he's with. She looks like a younger version of the mother of his second child. So you get what I'm saying? It's like these men don't understand. Yeah, you want to be socially accepted, but do your children love you? Do your children care for you? Like family is having family there for you that's rich. That's wealthy to me. And if you don't have those things, then you really lack a lot of serious things in your life. One thing about that I kind of pointed out is that telling people that you have to realize, because some people were dissing the fact that he was 25 years old, still receiving that type of support. You don't know what the arrangement 50 Cent had with his mother to say, I'll take care of him until he's 30, or I'll take care of him or whatever, because I've known that. Go ahead.
Stop right there. Here's the thing with that. Like you said, the arrangement with the mother, right? It's not an arrangement with the child.
That part there.
So the thing is, I've been in a position in the past where I've had to pay child support. That never bothered me. What bothered me was that what would bother me is whether or not the child is benefited from it, right?
Right.
Now here's the thing. The thing is, you throw all the rhetoric out, whatever the son, because the son was saying some wild stuff too, right? But he's the son.
He's the son of him.
And he's hurt.
And he's hurt.
He's been hurt for so long. I have we have mutual friends, me and his son, and I've always asked the friends that we have, y'all, is he okay? And they're like, no, he's fine. He's just, you have to really realize, being somebody like 50 Cent's son, that's just like if Diddy decided that he didn't want to claim Christian, and Christian looks just like him, and Christian would be upset if he did something like that. Christian would blast his daddy if he did something like that. But this is literally that situation. So to me, it's like, 50 Cent needs to really not play into that, and he needs to be the bigger man in this situation, which he's never really been since he started his career. He's always, he's always gone low. Like he doesn't.
He goes high.
He goes to Hades. Let me explain. And it's crazy. It's like he embraces the villainy that he's put out there. But when it comes to your children, even we see it. Braxton Family Values. Tamar cried when she told her dad, "You have to choose your kids first."
Yes,
you're not.
She was grown. She was grown when she said that.
Yeah, some of these folks lose their way quick. I mean, even what really agitated me with Steve Harvey. This is why I can't stomach Steve Harvey too much. Is that comment he made, and maybe he was just fronting, right? But he made that comment that this is my money, and I'm not leaving nothing for my kids. My wife and I are gonna spend it all. They need to make their own. I hate when somebody like that, or anybody for that matter, but particularly somebody in that position, like a Steve Harvey, who's probably worth $500 million, 50 Cent, who some say worth $1 billion. I hate when they say somebody gave y'all a break. Right, make no mistake. You burst through that door that they opened up for you. You know, congratulations, right? You were keen enough, wise enough, or whatever, fortunate enough to do that.
And how come it's so hard for us in our community to embrace nepotism? You know, like it's okay. Like there's nothing wrong with that. There are people who are cousins, great cousins, second cousins, 12th cousins, still getting nepotism in some form. You get what I'm saying? It's not even direct. So imagine the type of legacy that you could create if you pull your son to the side and say, let's go through some therapy, and then let me show you how I'm building what I've built over here. Or let me show you what to do, what you want to do on your side. Like it makes no sense to me.
Is that the baby, Anthony?
Yeah.
See, he's taking care of the baby.
Well, yeah. Hey, I just want to say, he's lucky he's not Herschel Walker's son. And spilling the tea online, he lucky because Herschel Walker's son is spilling all the family tea,
and I'm here for it
and telling it like it is. Like, you know, if he was Herschel Walker's son, he would be a whole trending topic right now, like his father.
He would be a hashtag.
No one cared about that debate at all. They worried about what they probably watching his son reaction. I wish we had a reaction post when that whole debate was going on, where you see like the debates and you look at the son reaction,
right.
You know,
that's Dawn, Dr. David Childs.
You become a trending topic, and we're going to talk about you.
Dawn, Dr. David Childs was watching. He said he's all over what you said. People want to be socially accepted, but do your children respect you? Dr. Childs has given that a big thumbs up right there.
Absolutely. And I was saying the exact same thing. I had the exact same thought. Absolutely.
It's facts.
Yes,
but that's a good point, Anthony. Nobody wants to be in.
You know, it's still sad because you know these are real life issues. This is not for our entertainment. These are people that are having real, you know, daddy issues. And yes, I laugh all the time. I mean, I replay Christian's videos sometimes. Like, you know, I think the way that he drags his father is so hilarious. But at the end of the day, you know, imagine.
Yeah, that's pain. That's pain. That's pain. And it's okay for, you know, because we all know how harmful Christian Walker's his timeline and his social media is. And it's frustrating because a lot of people was like, well, you can't sympathize or empathize with him or whatever and still be pro-Black or whatever. And I'm like, no, that's not how this works. You do realize like we all somewhat identify with that if we didn't have a father in the home, or if we are with men who are literally having babies everywhere. Ain't that what he said? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, you can understand what someone's saying and you can see that they're hurting and recognize their pain, and at the same time, you can still be like, okay, I don't really deal with him, you know, but that's his truth. He has every right to share his truth. Yeah. He had every right to call his father out because his father is, you know, this public figure.
Well, absolutely. Can I say that just going back to Dawn's point about nepotism, you know, why don't we think it's a great thing? One of the things that I love about the publication that I sit here for, which is the Forward Times, third generation. You know, there's some in the Black press, I believe 150 something years of having their publication, and it's all family owned. The nepotism is something we as a community definitely need to embrace. It's not just about giving a person a silver spoon in their mouth. It's about creating legacy for your entire bloodline. You know, it's about making sure that your family, that the Black culture, like literally continues to progress, you know, and we don't look at it that way. We look at it more so like, well, I didn't get any help, which you did. Just because you struggled doesn't mean that you didn't get help.
Mm-hmm. You know, the irony of this,
because you struggled doesn't mean that no one didn't help you, you know, and we need to embrace nepotism. It's a positive thing.
Well, the irony with 50 Cent is this, he's always a target somehow, right? He's been shot a few times. Here's the irony of that. And certainly don't want any harm to come to him, but if he was to meet his demise, right, anytime soon, his son has dibs on his fortune. His son that he's shunning. So that's ironic. But in sticking with the topic of do better black men, I'm turned to the black women. Kanye West.
Oh my God.
OMG.
Do, do, do,
Where do
Did
you
my
even
screen go
begin?
out?
Where do you begin?
There's no beginning. There's an end. I'm done because there's nothing else to say about this man. I have not ever since, I want to say right before he married that lady. Because I don't even like saying their last name.
Thank you. Neither do
I. When he married that lady, when his mama passed, let me go a little bit further back.
Mm-hmm.
When Donda passed, I said, I'm going to say 2 prayers. And after that, I'm going to watch his actions, because if I don't know nothing else about Kanye West, because I paid attention. I was a fan of his when he was a producer. Like,
Right.
companies like had just started. Like, I heard him in a New York club, and that's when I was like, oh my God, who is this playing on the thing? And it happened to be him spinning that particular night in this club in New York. When his mama passed, it was a wrap for him. It was a wrap for him because there was no one there that he could really be confident and tell, his thoughts, to where she could rationalize some of the things he was doing, to where she could really kind of nurture him in a way to be like, okay, this is how you need to give this to the public. Because there's no way you cannot tell me that Donda was not helping him from day one to really kind of understand who he was coming into this industry, especially after everything he went through. And then losing her, marrying this young lady, losing himself in the sauce for the most part, and then getting to this point to where I don't even recognize this man. I don't even know who he is anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want him walking around calling himself Kanye West, because that's not the Kanye West I want to even try to remember,
Absolutely.
So at this point, it's like there's nothing else to do or say, because clearly he doesn't have enough of the right people around him to really kind of get him to sit down and let's
say this. Let's get the elephant out of the room immediately. I am not. I do no longer subscribe to the theory when people say, "Oh, he got mental health issues." I thought Charlamagne broke it down better than anybody else. Diddy and Fat Joe and all of them gave him a pass. Charlamagne said, look, here's the thing with Kanye. And he had as he said, I got the receipts. Every single time he leaves one of his business deals or the business relationship ends with somebody, like with the Gap just recently and Adidas just recently, he goes to look for, as Charlamagne said, white validation. And now who does he go to this time? He went to the
worst, Candace Owens. Yep.
And put on these White Lives Matter shirts.
That ain't self-hate.
Yeah. And then he gonna double down and triple down on it. I mean, Kanye West, man, this is no longer you can't. And Dawn, you have been very open about your mental health with us on this show, and we all probably know someone. I certainly know individuals who are close to me with mental health struggles. I don't know Kanye West. However, I am not willing to give Kanye West this pass. And Black people keep supporting him. How do we support? Because Black Twitter is all over him. He is basically canceled on Black Twitter, right? They didn't cancel and buying his stuff.
That part. Hey, it's like if you go,
no matter what he does.
Go ahead. And I think because he teeter-totters, like this is something we don't talk about because we don't really talk about mental health issues. Mental health is actually really still kind of new in the Black community, and we don't really explore what that means. But we don't really kind of talk about that genius aspect as well. And I totally believe that Kanye is a genius. However, sometimes when you are that level of intelligent, you literally kind of teeter-totter on that mental health issue genius kind of level, and they sometimes fuse with each other.
And he very well is bipolar, because you
Mhm.
can tell in his actions, you can
Mhm.
tell when he's manic, you can tell when he's depressed, and his depression may look like mania, but it's not. It's like, no, he's sad, and because he's not taking his meds. We know this. People around him have said that he doesn't take his meds consistently, because he may not even be doing therapy consistently. Like, he's doing the most outrageous things. And to me, that's where it's like, I'm not going to dismiss his mental illness at all, because for every person that there is, it looks different, right?
Mhm.
Depression
Right.
looks different in you and me. Bipolar looks different in you and me.
Mhm.
But the thing is that you know better. You know right from wrong. You
Right.
know when you are out here saying some shit, excuse me, and you know that you are out here looking for somebody to have your back on some BS. And,
Well,
I'm
And you're
sick of
pushing
him
you're
doing that.
pushing your friends away. He
Yes.
pushed Jay away, like you're pushing your
Mhm.
logical friends away. When you do that, when you don't have that circle around you, and you don't have that the people that hold you accountable, and you literally just have yes people around you to let you run rampant with your thoughts,
Yes.
this is a result of that.
Yeah.
And I understand, Jay and others that are no longer around him. Like, listen, like, I cannot attach myself to that.
That
I
part.
cannot
That
be
part.
adjacent to those types of thoughts. Some of the things that Kanye is saying. I don't care that he thinks like, oh, this is going to sell, or this is going to make money, and I'm on capitalism, and that's why I'm doing. I
Mhm.
don't care about any of that. Sometimes you just really have to know that your words have consequences.
Well,
Yeah.
first
Listen,
of all,
Anthony.
let's clear one
That
thing
sound
up.
like Nicki Minaj.
Kanye
too.
West is definitely not a genius. His talent is genius.
That's what I meant.
I
That's
think
what she
That's what I
meant.
yes,
meant. I
Yeah.
meant
his
No,
right.
talent is
he's
genius.
a musical
Right. So
genius.
that's what I
Yes,
But
meant.
we
Like,
know.
his talent. His talent
yeah,
is Jesus. And
and
that's
you
what I
made
mean.
a
Like,
good
so
point. I
so
think the
I know
people.
my sister's gonna kill me for this, but my sister has autism. Okay.
Okay.
And sometimes I think about mental health, and I equate those together because you don't know it, and they look different in each person. And she has autism, from the time she was little. Like, we literally had her tested and proven. But that girl is getting her doctorate at Yale. I've said this a million times on this show, Stacey, and she's getting her doctorate at Yale in green chemistry. So a lot of people are looking like, wow, she has this talent, but then over here, there's so much anxiety, and there's so much that her autism affects. And so that's what I meant. Like, yes, musically, he's genius. And sometimes when you have that in your brain, and the way that your mental illness works, they will fuse together. And you would tell a person, that's why people are saying he's not mentally ill, because they're looking at his talent genius and saying,
Looking at all
no,
those
you can
multi-billion-dollar
comprehend.
deals he signs too. If you're saying
Right.
enough to do all
Right.
that,
Right.
and Anthony, going back to Dawn's point, that woman was loudly booed at the game the other day. It was wonderful. It was a great sound. But Greer points out he has no black women in his life.
And
Well, I
you
mean,
wonder
he doesn't.
why.
But see, one thing about it is Kanye has never ever took anyone's advice on anything that they have given him. He always looked to them as a way to kind of credit his platform on what, like, even Anna Winters. He kind of mentioned a lot of people. He always mentioned a prominent person that kind of influenced him, but he never took their advice. Even with Candace Owens, she's telling him, she's pretty much going off of what he's putting out. Candace Owens has always been, a discredited person in the black community. No one really cared about anything that she has ever said in regards to the black community, because she's always been outspoken against the black community.
And she need to worry about her
she's black.
edges.
Right.
She
And
were
of course,
edges.
Kanye is just using her to pretty much push his narrative that white lives matter. We knew Kanye was tripping when he talked about Harriet. So we already knew
That part.
you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't the fact that we ever believed Kanye. We just supported him with his music. And his music has always been greater than his personality. And that's what's going to ever, that's what's going
But
to
at
move
this
forward.
point, at this point we don't have a choice. If he puts out more music, he puts out more products, he puts out more whatever collaborations he does, don't support it. Like, keep your money, put your money somewhere else. I mean,
where'd
because
you draw the
you know
line?
something.
Because Kanye is Kanye. It's just like, you know, it's like, you know, the way we cherish our artists these days is we have to put them past their personalities. We have to just realize that music is going to be music. And of course, their personal issues is going to be not a ref.
So is
Well,
that
he
is that the
wants his
same as Nicki
personal
Minaj?
issues.
Like,
I was
because
just
Nicki
about to
Minaj
say,
got to
Dawn,
get up
me
out
and
of
you
here
are on a
too.
wavelength today
Because like, because ma'am, no, like, you know, I don't want them to feel as if their music is going to cancel out who they actually are as humans, because that's not how that's going to work. No, because
And it
after a
can't.
while, you're going to consistently do these things and be harmful, like what Randy was saying. What you're saying is extremely harmful, and you have all of these other groups of people who want to support you because they hate Black people, because they don't like us. They love everything we stand for. They love our culture, our music, the clothes, everything, but they don't want us to exist in certain ways. And when you say certain shit, you just gonna have to get met with a slap to the face or something, because you have lost your mind.
Yeah,
You
I just
know?
think I agree with Greer here. I just think it's time to it's past time to just leave that dude alone. As
For
Well,
far
we
as
sure.
can't just
buying
leave
his
him
stuff,
alone because he's always going to be an influential person, just like Nicki Minaj, just like a lot of these
I
artists.
can leave him
They're
alone.
always going to be.
There,
I mean, I'm just saying, like,
I
as
can
far
leave him
as
alone.
I mean, as far as like their music will
Yeah.
always be relevant.
There is a
you know?
certain international superstar. My family will tell you. I'm not going to name that person who they don't even. If I'm around or if I'm 5 blocks away, they know I'm coming. They turn that music off. So they're like,
Well, we did
Dad
that
is
with R.
gonna
Kelly.
flip out if
We,
that.
Hey,
we
really?
finally canceled R. Kelly at some capacity, but you know, it's still somebody that's going to be out there that's going to support R. Kelly and whatever he does. And I think we have to just be at a point where,
Well, in
like I
R.
said,
Kelly
we
case,
have to
though,
be mental to what they put out and say, look, I'm not going to support it individually, but
right?
I'm going to definitely, like, you know, continue to advocate for us to be better people. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Well,
Like,
and our
just like what Don said about the black press. We will always be downplayed as the black press. The black press will never matter to certain people because we're not relevant to them. You know, even today, we talk about this all the time. You know, of course, I'm gonna bring this up, Stacey, before we roll out, is that a lot of black press aren't verified because of the white
Right.
counterparts that we relate to. And you know,
Right.
even to this day, a lot of black press organizations will never be verified because we do not compete with our counterparts that's doing the same thing we're doing, and we still do not get the same recognition. You can win all awards and you still would not have the same recognition as your white counterparts because we'll never be equal to their black press. We will never be equal to the white media.
Well, here's the deal. As we about to head to the home mark, here's the thing. You know you can't support Candace Owens, right? You know you can't support Clarence Thomas. You can't support Ben Carson. You can't support Kanye West. As Roz Nixon says, stop supporting people who don't support us. And the thing about it is, not only are they not supporting us, Kanye went on Tucker Carlson. Kanye went with his MAGA hat to the White House. Kanye did this. You know, you have to stop with these self-inflicted wounds. And if you continue to support folks like Kanye West, it's self-inflicted wounds. And that is the definition of insanity, isn't it? Kanye and Candace said that white people are the most hated, which is ridiculous, right? So let's be real here. It's time for us to stop giving folks a pass. You know, it's okay to say, if the person says I'm sorry, you want to forgive them, and you should, right? You want, but Kanye makes no apologies for what he does. Kanye makes no excuses for what he does. He does it. And Candace Owens is now, she's got his bank statements now. She posted a letter from his bank. So she's in deep now with him. He's in deep now with her.
Where she wanted to be. And he doesn't see that. You know, honestly, I really feel like that that celebrities need to be trained in how social media is right now. Like they need to be trained because I think that's the problem. I think they feel like they can't get canceled because they're so used to being the celebrity of old. People having that much access to you that they can see your daily thoughts, that they can see you posting your friends, the way he posts screenshots. You know, there are people on Twitter saying, why are people still texting Kanye when they know he's going to post their screenshots? I just see that a lot of celebrities are not very savvy about how social media works today. And they don't realize that if they keep going in this aspect, yes, their music will still get bought the same way K. Relly, the same way his music is still trends all the time. His music is up there because people are still buying it. But could you imagine him being out of jail and being on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and in his stories, and being his toxic, self, his toxic, egotistical self? People will definitely be like, no, we're not rocking with him, and it's the same way with Kanye. Like Kanye is literally erasing his legacy.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen him come up from the trenches, and we supported that guy with that backpack music. And to see him like literally just taking an eraser and erase Tucker Carlson, why would you go on there? Why would you say something like white people are the most hated when there are statistical studies that shows they
And
wake up with no problem?
And do we really need studies on that?
Right. Do we? Right.
Wow.
But Don and Anthony were absolutely right, and like a lot of what they said, I agreed with a lot of what they said. But I'm kind of worried, Stacey. I don't really think people will cancel Kanye. I think he's gonna have to take it to an extreme. And I also think, and this is just a side note, I also think he kind of wants to be canceled.
You make a great point there. That's something that's interesting. He probably does at this point too. And with Candace Owens in his corner. Oh, there's the baby.
Hey, baby.
There she is.
She acting up. She's like, I want to be on this camera.
That's
She's like,
right.
I want to be in this show. You gonna put me in here? I'm not canceled.
What's her Twitter handle?
Her Twitter number is Anthony Tillman. That's her Twitter handle. At me. But now I'm put her down because she acting a fool right here.
I see
she don't want to be canceled.
So, he's got the baby bottle behind him and a Coca-Cola can. What a mix!
She don't want to be canceled.
Full daddy mode. Full dad
mode.
Yes.
Listen,
she don't want to be canceled.
We got to run, y'all. Anthony Tillman, Totally Randy, Denisha. You're fantastic. Keep up the great work out there at the Houston Forward Times and all that you do. We appreciate you all for watching. Let it be known. Have a great weekend.
Holla.